What is up, heroes? This is Midnight Zero, and welcome back to the Let's Play Corpse Party Book of Shadows. In the last episode, we explored this ethereal house, and we're finding it's at least not a very welcoming place. I guess most recently, we found this key to Yoshie's bedroom, so that is where we are going to head next. I'm, well, I guess excited is one way to put it. The door is locked. We have a key, though. But it looks like the key from the other room fits. I wonder why. This is... There were photos of Sachiko all over the room. Virtually everywhere there was space for them. Her mother clearly held her very dear. I don't know, maybe a little bit too dear, it seems. So this is her room. I don't see these photos as frequently as was indicated, but what's this up here? Nakashima-san, look, up there! Oh, isn't that... Perched high off the ground, a traditional household shrine was affixed to the wall, and within it was an easily recognizable paper doll. Oh... An offering, I guess. It's enshrined alongside a mirror imitating the shape of Yata no Kagami. This must be the doll that Naho brought back with her. Interesting. Apparently, the class rep's parting in Heavenly Host with her former role model, Naho, had not been a pleasant one. She looked momentarily distraught. Not a pleasant one is quite the understatement. In front of the enshrined doll, there was a square sheet of yellowed paper containing hand-inked instructions on performing an all-too-familiar ritual. Spirit in the ever after, to confer a dying land upon an offering, one shall meditate upon his or her name. Please must be spoken in silence a number of times equal to all transgressors plus the offering. An avatar for the offering must then be torn and split equally amongst the transgressors. If performed correctly, the offering's desired location shall become the land in which he or she dies. The offering's desired location. Interesting. This was the original form of the Sachiko Ever After ritual. So, did Yoshie use Sachiko as an offering in order to make Heavenly Host the land of her death? Huh? This would have had to have happened while she was still alive, but why? What was she hoping to accomplish? She sacrificed Sachiko? Huh? To give her maybe like an eternal life in Heavenly Host or something like that? I don't know. Picture after picture. Each depicting some happy moment in the Shinozaki family's life. Yoshie's overwhelming love of Sachiko came through in every shot. What is that all about? Whoa. Apparently the father wasn't loved too much in this family. The photographs depicting the Shinozaki women were all fine, but those that showed Sachiko with both her parents were all a bit different. Huh, I wonder what could be possibly different about them. In each one of them, the man who was presumably Yoshie's husband had had his face completely blacked out with a ballpoint pen. That has to be Sachiko's dad, right? But why? Yeah, why is a good question. We really haven't heard much about this man, have we? Looking around the room, it really was every single photograph that depicted this man. His face was inked out in literally every picture. Interesting. Okay. So, what should we inspect next? We've looked at that. What about this down here? So what's this now?
壁に0から9の数字を押し込むロック状のようなものが埋め込まれているのを見つけた。
It appeared to be an embedded wall safe with a circular padlock and a panel of buttons comprised of the digits 0 through 9.
どれ?
Let me see.
これなんか金庫っぽいよね。
This looks almost like some kind of vault, doesn't it? What gave you that impression? Only a safe in the wall?
適当に押してみたけど反応がない。
We tried pressing buttons at random in hopes of opening the lock by pure chance, but that didn't do a thing. I mean, there are 1,000 different combinations, so...
丸い状の端には右回りの矢印が描かれていて、状全体が少し回るようになっていた。
That is assuming there are 3 numbers in the combination, which is typical for these sorts of circular locks, but... Following the spin clockwise indicator etched into the steel safe, we tried spinning the lock itself as well, but had no luck with that either.
回転させると押し込んだ数字がすべて戻り、リセットされる。
In fact, as soon as the lock made one full rotation, all the buttons we'd pressed in suddenly popped back out.
そして文字盤の周りには幸子の生前の写真がたくさん貼ってあるか。
So, we're dealing with a combination locked safe surrounded by photos of Sachiko from when she was still alive.
これ
Maybe there's a clue in them?
設置したものだとしたら、幸子に関係ある数字だとか。
Yeah, no kidding. If Yoshi is the one who set the combination, it's probably safe to assume it has something to do with Sachiko.
そっか。
But what exactly?
案外単純にそうなっているかも。人が利用するものだから忘れないようにそうしている可能性もあるしね。
You know, you're absolutely right. It must be something really simple. Whoever used this safe would have chosen something they wouldn't forget after all.
幸子に関係ある数字か。
Yeah, that's the question. The question is, what would that something be?
語呂合わせでいくつか試しに押し込んで回してみた。
We tried a handful of different combinations based on homonyms, rhyming, and the like.
けれど
No avail.
ことごとくカチャンと軽い音がし、リセットされる。
But every time we just spin the lock, hear a metallic thunk, and watch the numbers reset on us.
幸子。天神症を生還した私たちが何か知っている情報はない？
Sachiko, come on, think. We made it back from Heavenly Host Elementary alive, so there must be some tidbit of knowledge we can use. I'm trying to think. I don't know. All I can think of is maybe the 753 from that one festival they were celebrating, or they celebrate for kids at their, 7th, 5th, and 3rd birthdays, but aside from that, I'm not sure. What had we actually learned about Sachiko, though? Number-wise, all I could come up with was an approximate height, and that didn't work. What was it that plaque in the stairwell said? Sachiko just before her 7th birthday? It seemed as if Yoshi were really fixated on Sachiko turning 7. So what about just the number 7 by itself? Just the number 7? It was a long shot, but... Are you serious? Are you serious? The combo was literally just the number 7? That's ridiculous. Hey, I got it!
すごい中島さん。
Wow, nice job, Nakashima-san.
壁の錠のある部分が小さな隠し扉になっていて、錠自体がノブ代わりとなって手前に引くことができた。
The area of the wall all around the safe opened up like a secret door, with the combination lock holding in place and serving as a doorknob.
しゃがまないと入れないくらいの隠し扉の奥には地下室に降りる階段があった。
Beyond the tiny door, a door so small that we had to crawl to fit through it, was a long staircase stretching down into a hidden underground room. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
クモの巣、埃もすごいよ。
Spider webs, and the dust here is really thick.
どれどれ、見せて。
Hey, come on, I want to see too.
倉庫かしら。
Is it some kind of storehouse, maybe?
懐中電灯で地下の様子を照らしてみても、下の階は意外と深い位置にあってよく見えない。
I tried to get a better look at what we were crawling into, but the stairs went so far down that even with the flashlight it was just too dark. I think this might be where Sachiko was offered, per se, given that it's right underneath this sort of shrine-like thing. And I don't know, like, What could be in here, given that this like safe or vault is in a room that's locked, well, with a key, and, well, I guess hidden to an extent? It looks like a lot of furniture was knocked over, but I'd imagine there was something covering this on the wall. So, this is a hidden passageway that shouldn't exist, inside a building that shouldn't exist. I think the danger level has reached its peak here. Oh, you don't even know. I mean, what was the ghost we were listening to outside? It feels like we're standing at the entrance to some realm that's not even part of this world. You're arguably already in one.
委員長がまっすぐに私の目を見つめる。怖いんだ。でも言いたいことは分かってる。
The class rep looked me right in the eye. I was scared, but I knew exactly what she was going to say. She didn't need to speak a single word.
たとえ恐ろしい運命が待っていたとしても。
Even if all that awaited us down here was an unimaginably horrific end.
これは私たちが喉から手が出るほど欲しかった呪いの真相への入り口。
We were standing at the source of the answers we so desperately sought. We were poised to uncover the truth behind the curse of Sachiko Shinozaki.
新しい世界への扉。引き返したら一生後悔する。
This was the gate to a new world. If we turned back, we'd regret it for the rest of our lives.
私たちは顔を見合
Arguably
わせ
still have your
て
lives, but you know.
地下に降りる決心をする。
So the two of us just looked one another in the eyes and nodded. We were ready to descend the staircase into whatever abyss lurked below.
おそらくこの先はナホさんも到達していない領域だわ。気をつけて中島さん。何が起こっても気を緩めちゃダメよ。
I don't think even Naho made it this far. So be careful, Nakashima-san. Stay alert and focused down there, no matter what happens. Agreed. She'd begun descending the stairs ahead of me, but stopped and looked back after only a few steps to issue me this one last warning. I nodded again.
さっきの足音。
Oh no.
やっぱり何かが歩き回ってるんだ。
I can...
2階に来てる。
Great. I can see it now. They're gonna be halfway down these stairs into this room, and all of a sudden they're gonna hear a click as the vault, shuts behind them. It's those same footsteps. There really is something else in here with us, wandering around, and it sounds like it's on the second floor. They should have locked the door to Yoshie's room. They were extremely close. It sounded as if they were poised just outside the door to Yoshie's room, just a few feet away.
中島さん、地下に行こう。
Nakashima-san, down the staircase, hurry! Okay. What could possibly go wrong? We're in this mystery side room now.
私たちは逃れるようにして隠し扉の奥へ入った。
And so the two of us fled through the secret door and down the stairs, no more hesitation.
木でできた地下への階段はより一層老朽化が激しく、ミシミシ、パキリと折れそうな音を立てる。
The wooden steps creaked and groaned beneath us, even more than the ones from the main stairwell. It felt like they might fall apart at any moment.
恐ろしいのをこらえて、ゆっくり一段ずつ降りていくと、やがてジメジメした地下室に着いた。
We took one step at a time, swallowing our fear and just pushing onward until finally, we arrived in a small, damp, musty room underground.
大丈夫？足元にいろいろあるわ。気をつけて。
Are you alright? There's a lot of junk on the ground here, so be careful where you walk. Fair point.
真っ暗でよくわから
There's
ないけど。
music. That's something I've really enjoyed. There's actually been a lot of music this
照らされ
chapter.
る地下室の内部には、そこら中にガラクタや本が散乱していた。
There was no light down here with us whatsoever for the class rep's shaky flashlight beam. And all that beam revealed was a mess of books and clutter.
机の上には山ほどの本やルーズリーフ、紙の資料、科学実験室にあるようなビーカーや三角フラスコなど。
With a twist of the wrist, it then shone upon a desk containing a chaotic mountain of books, loose-leaf notes, documents, and assorted beakers and flasks. Huh?
まるで科学者が研究か実験でも行っていたかのような散らかり方だった。
It looked like some mad scientist had done research and conducted all manner of untold experiments down here.
あれは何かのケース？
What's that? It looks like someone's family tree.
委員長が離れた机に置いてある古びた紙に近寄っていく。
The class rep shot over toward a desk further in. Her interest piqued by a glimpse of a large document spread out on its surface. I followed her lead.
中島さんにも明かりが必要ね。そこ、ノコギリの刃とか工具が机に置いてあって危ないよ。
Yikes.
ごめんね。ちょっとそこで待ってて。
Ah, you need light too, don't you? Sorry, there's a desk over there with saw blades and other sharp tools on it, so it's kind of dangerous. Stay where you are. Why would all of that be down here too?
能力者一族系譜の図?
Genealogy chart. Gifted line. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Interesting. What do they mean by gifted?
家図ね。何？能力者って。
It really is a family tree, but what does it mean by gifted? Yeah, that's the real question I'm wondering about as well.
篠崎、三船、島村、三田、長尾。え？この名前。
Oh, I recognize some of these names.
そう。あながち嘘でもないのです。
Huh? That's right, it's not necessarily a lie. There were many individuals born in the closing days of the Meiji period who possessed remarkable powers. Is this Ayumi's older sister?
明治後期にたくさん生まれた念写、千里眼といった能力者たち。有名な千里眼事件の三船千鶴子や長尾育子。
These people achieved fame for their thoughtography abilities and psychic talents prior to the so-called Senriganjiken, or clairvoyance controversy.
あの先人たちの能力の真偽はともかく。
Chizuko Mifune and Ikuko Nagao were particularly noteworthy figures at the time, and whether their abilities were real or not is beside the point.
超能力が科学に負けたあの宣言から後も、能力者たちは野に伏せながら、自らの力を錬成し続けているのです。
What matters is that even after the scientific community discredited such abilities, the truly gifted continued exploring them anyway, often in secret.
能力者。じゃあ、吉江の家も超能力者の家系なの？
So, if they're the gifted line, does that mean Yoshie and Sachiko were descended from those famous clairvoyants?
ここは調べた通りだわ。男子に恵まれなかった篠崎家は。
It sure seemed that way, and from the looks of it, the Shinozaki line was never blessed with male heirs either.
その母方の家と血を継承していくために、婿養子を取ってきた女系の家。
It's a matrilinear house that passed its blood and family name down from mother to daughter, generation after generation, through adopted son-in-laws.
この系図の中に、吉江と幸子もいるはずだよね。
I was certain if I traced this family tree far enough, I'd find the names Yoshie and Sachiko. But...
あった。
Oh, there they are.
やっぱり吉江も、その母親も、竹から婿養子を入れて血をつないでいるのね。
Interesting. Ah, there they were, and just like everyone before her, Yoshie had married a man who'd been adopted into the family in order to keep the Shinozaki name.
当主の名はセイラ。
Looks like the root of the tree is this person named Seira.
吉江の母親は、ラッキー。
And Yoshie's mother's name is Raki.
長女なんだ。兄弟に男子もいない。なるほど。当主直系のサラブレッドなのね、吉江は。
She was the eldest daughter in her family and had no brothers, so that makes Yoshie a thoroughbred, a direct, unfiltered descendant of Seira.
死後霊になって、あれだけの力を持つのもわかる気がする。
I guess it stands to reason then that she'd have so much power and influence even as a spirit. What was that?
ラップがすごいな。
Huh? The rapping is getting pretty loud in here. What rapping?
そして婿養子に入った父親は、例外なく急死している。
All of these adopted fathers who continued the family line died suddenly after their children were born, it seems, without even one single exception, huh?
まるでこの家が、篠崎家以外の血を排除しようとしているかのようだわ。
It's like the family line had a mind of its own, and went to great lengths to eliminate the blood of other lines once it had served its purpose. This sort of like pedigree stuff annoys me.
子として迎えるにしたって、結婚するからにはきっと愛情だってあるはずだから。篠崎の女性だって辛いでしょうね。
These are men who are willing to give up their own birthrights and take another's name for the sake of love. It must have been hard on the Shinozaki women. It must have been hard on the Shinozaki women. What? That's not where I thought this was going. It's like, these are men who are willing to give up their own birthrights and take another's name for the sake of love. But then that sacrifice that these men are making is somehow hard on the women. Also, before it's a comment, I know that this is like the women taking the name of men and making that sacrifice is a more common practice, and like that in and of itself is a sacrifice, even though it's changing now. So that's not really what I want to get into, but I'm just more so a little bit contradicted by how they got to that last sentence in this little text block. Daddy's not breathing. Whoa, Sachiko, when did you join the party? Huh. No, darling, no. I suppose this was a fate that just couldn't be averted. Interesting. I wonder if it's intentional or not. Such a strong spiritual influence. Ayumi? Do I see it? Kanae, Shinozaki, Hirohito, Ayato. Hey, that's my grandmother, my grandfather, and my dad. I remember hearing that my grandfather was adopted into my grandmother's family and passed away shortly after my dad was born. The head of the family had 3 daughters, and Grandma Kanae is descended from the youngest. Yeah, no kidding, no kidding. I thought it was creepy enough just having the same last name, but to think my family is actually from the same lineage as Yoshie and Sachiko. You can hang out with them after you die. Am I gifted, then? What does that even mean? I mean, definitely to an extent. You're not like a super powerful clairvoyant or anything like that, but you clearly have some sort of connection with the spiritual world. Hey, did you find something? It's pitch black and really creepy just standing here, you know? Yes, sorry about that. I'll be right there. In fact, fire hazard, how about I lend you one of my candles? Fire hazard or no? The class rep had an old, oversized sheet of paper in her hand and was shaking wildly. Did she find some crucial piece of information, I wondered? Definitely. Book of Shadows. Book of Shadows. Understood that one. But who said that? Class rep? Are you okay? Yikes, who was that? It hurts. Yikes. My head feels like it's being crushed in a vice. Yikes, that can't be a very pleasant feeling. No, stop this, keep it together. No, we can't afford to have you possessed now. That's for sure. And she's normal? Question mark? She suddenly turned toward one corner of the room and froze completely, gazing intently at the wall. Her eyes became wide as saucers. She was like a cat who'd stiffened up and just kept staring into thin air, on high alert for no discernible reason. And just as cat owners are often left wondering what their pets are seeing, I too wondered if she was looking at something. Or had heard a noise, maybe?
心配というか怖くなって、私は委員長の体を掴んで揺さぶった。
I was worried about her, but really, I was more scared than anything. I grabbed her and tried to shake her out of this disconcerting trance.
委員長、どうしたの？
Class rep, what's wrong?
けれど彼女はすっと手で
Oh, no.
私を制し、ゆっくりと立ち上がって凝視した一角に向けて歩いていく。
But she brushed me off and held up a hand as if to say, hold it right there. She then began walking slowly toward the corner she'd been watching. What is this music in the background, too? Building up to some dramatic
そこ
event?
は一見して周りと変化のないただの壁だった。
There didn't seem to be anything special about it. It looked no different from anything else in the room. It was just an ordinary wall.
前に立った委員長はしばらく凝視した後に急に壁を破壊し始めた。
For a few moments longer, the class rep just stood there, gazing at this empty space. Then, with no explanation, she began tearing away loose boards.
老朽化しているので壁の板は簡単に壊れていく。
It wasn't difficult to do. The entire room was old and in tremendous disrepair, and the wood was quite thoroughly rotted. Each board came off easily.
腐食した穴に指を入れて力を入れて引き剥がすと板はすぐに短く折れて床に散る。折れるとまたすぐに指を入れて板を剥がす。
Eventually, small gaps began to form. She stuck her fingers into these and pulled, yanking away whole chunks of wall, forming bigger and bigger crevices. What is she looking for?
しばらくすると壁には大きな穴が開き、穴の向こうには隠れた空間があった。 押し入れ程度の狭いスペース。
These crevices then finally merged into one big gaping hole through which a hidden subroom no bigger than a closet had now been fully exposed.
そこには
What?
黒く分厚い本が置いてあり、
Whoa, this obviously is the Book of Shadows, and within that subroom sat a thick, dark tome. Whoa.
ブックオブシャドウズ。
It's the Book of Shadows! We finally find the Book of Shadows!
どうしてこれが日本に？
Why is this in Japan? I mean, what is it? How do you know what it is?
委員長、どうしたの？この本、何？
What's going on? What's the Book of Shadows? Whatever it was clearly a very old book, and it didn't look like it was bound from paper. There were small ornamental patterns sewn into it, all of which had a certain disconcerting quality about them. In addition, a liquid that looked just as much like blood as it did ink had pooled into a multi-hued stains all across the lip of the front cover. And that grotesque cover was already unpleasant looking enough to begin with.
人の皮と動物の皮を縫い合わせて作られた本、きっと間違いないわ。
What?
暗黒の書、ブックオブシャドウズ。
There's no mistaking it. These pages were made from human skin and animal hide. This is without a doubt the Book of Shadows.
お姉ちゃんに教えてもらったんだけど、血塗られた歴史の裏に隠された闇の書物よ。
Sis told me about it. It's a dark tome with a long history wrought in blood, passed down from generation to generation in secret.
中世末期にかけて、主にヨーロッパに見られた恐ろしい魔女狩りの歴史のね。
It dates back to the tumultuous days of the witch hunts that occurred at the end of the Middle Ages, primarily in Europe.
魔女狩り？
Witch hunts?
そう。犠牲者の数は4万人にも上ると見られる集団妄想における迫害殺戮とも言われている。
Yeah, mass paranoia led to the indiscriminate persecution and slaughter of as many as 40,000 people.
当時、悪魔と契約したとして魔術を使った容疑をかけられた人はね。
They were suspected of practicing black magic by making pacts with the devil.
教会や民間による裁判にかけられて、ひどい拷問にかけられたり、処刑されたりしたの。
So the churches and local communities brought them to trial, where they were almost always subjected to horrible torture and eventually executed.
とても残酷な方法でね。
Usually in really cruel ways. Yeah, my little bit of history knowledge indicates so as well.
自然災害や貧困にあえぐ市民たちの不平のはけ口として、権力者たちにもスケープゴートとして利用されたのね。
People began blaming them for natural disasters, poverty, and other unfortunate realities of life. and influential individuals use them as scapegoats.
主に生活の不安定な地域で苛烈に行われたこの悪臭に容疑をかけられて殺された犠牲者はほとんどの場合が意味のない言いがかりだったんだけれど。
The vast majority of those killed were just innocent victims of circumstance who happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
実はその中には
But there were a few.
実はその中には実際に動的魔術を使いこなす能力者たちも本当にいたのです。
There were a few gifted people among them who had legitimately mastered the practical uses of magic.
能力者？動的ってことはほうきで飛んだりとかの魔法使い？嘘。
Gifted people? And what do you mean practical use of magic? Are you talking like witches flying around on brooms and stuff? That's impossible.
にわかに信じがたいですね。
It is hard to believe, isn't it?
でもね、あゆみちゃんには知っておいてほしいのです。科学的に説明がつかないパラノーマルの存在を。
But I want you to know everything about this, Ayumi. About the things in this world that science can't quite explain. About the paranormal.
お姉ちゃんの研究のこと知ってるから自然の法則とか魔法の本質が祈りであるとか。
I'm already familiar with your studies, though. You taught me the laws of the natural world and that the true nature of magic is prayer.
そういう力のあることはなんとなく想像できるけど。
It makes sense, too. It's really easy to understand how powers like that would work.
それ以上はファンタジーだと思ってた。
But anything more than that, like flying around on brooms and stuff, just seems like fantasy to me.
私がウィッカの道を目指した時にお父様たちが猛反対された理由にも関わってくるのですが。
And I'm sure that's what Dad and Mom must have thought too when I told them I was interested in Wicca. To them, it's all just dangerous fantasy.
まあそれは篠崎の家のルーツにも理由があって長くなるからこれはまたいつか話しますね。
Though there are also the Shinozaki family roots to consider, but that's a long story, so how about we save it for another time? Okay.
魔女というのはすなわち村の賢者でもあったから書生にも長けていたのですね。
Witches, you see, were usually village elders and sages back in those days, conducting themselves with intelligence, dignity, and honor.
彼女たちは迫害を逃れるため一切の力を隠して生きてきたので実際の能力者の大半は処刑されずに生き延びたそうなのですが。
So when the witch hunts began, they were smart enough to hide their powers from public view, and as a result, ironically, the majority of them survived.
その後魔女禁止令が廃止された後でも
But even after the ban on witchcraft was lifted,
殺戮の強烈な記憶からむやみに力を使えない風潮は続いていたためその力は使われないままに日に日に薄れていったのです。
the memories of what happened remained, and the black arts continued to be socially shunned. Eventually, the powers of magic began to fade with disuse.
魔女たちは長い年月の歴史で培った代々伝わる魔法の術がこのまま無意に失われてしまうことを恐れたのですね。
And the witches feared that these powers, passed from generation to generation throughout their long, proud history, were in danger of being lost forever.
力を
Reasonably
後世
so.
に継ぐためその秘術を事細かに記し始めたのです。
Interesting. So they began chronicling them on paper, in painstaking detail, for all posterity. And is that what eventually became of the Book of Shadows?
この
Hardly paper, then. And that chronicle is right here, the Book of Shadows.
何人もの能力者の手を渡り海底に海底を重ねて神羅万象を操る魔術の極意が収められているというウィッチクラフト英知の結集。
Passed from one gifted mage to another, revised and appended countless times, a complete guide to witchcraft detailing spells pertaining to all creation.
怪奇神話に出てくるアルアジフという魔導書の存在はフィクションと言われてるけど
You may have heard of Al-Azif, that infamous Lovecraftian grimoire that everybody says is just a work of fiction.
人づてに存在を伝えられてきたこの本は実際に存在するって研究者の間ではまことしやかに語られてきたものなの。
But whenever this book comes up, even among researchers, people always debate whether or not it's real. They always admit it's a possibility. Well, now you've got it in front of your face, Ayumi.
白魔術、黒魔術と たくさんの秘術が記されていて、中には禁忌とされる邪術も含まれているんだって。
Supposedly, it contains a complete listing of white and black magic spells, all manner of lost arts, and even some forbidden acts of sorcery.
邪術って危ないとか？
As in, the really dangerous kind of magic?
だから素人による悪用や事故を防ぐために門外不出の書として代々魔女の家系で守られてきたものはずなんだけど。
It would be really dangerous in the wrong hands. That's why it was supposed to have been enshrined and kept under watch by the witch's descendants. But it somehow ended in Yoshie's hands, and with Yoshie's hands, well, I guess that's how you end up making something like Heavenly Host.
なんでそれが今こんな日本の片隅に？
So why is something like that here, then, tucked away in a hidden room in rural Japan?
わかんない。でも実際この半世紀ほどの間、本物を目にしたって証明する人がいなかったから。
I don't know, but it's been a good half a century or so since anyone's been able to prove they laid eyes on it.
やっぱりその存在は疑わしいとされていたらしいんだけど。
And that's led many people to start doubting its existence. The class rep suddenly picked up the book and began casually thumbing through it, as if she were looking up a word in the dictionary.
ちょっとそんなもの手に取って開いちゃって大丈
Fair
夫な
point,
の？
fair point. Hey, is it really okay to be holding that, much less opening it?
少しだけ。
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it can't hurt to take a quick look. I don't know if it can really hurt. I guess it can, probably. Given you might expose yourself to certain spells, you might give yourself knowledge that can bring you down, that could tempt you into doing something. I don't know. We're gonna call it here though for now. We're gonna take a look at the Book of Shadows, maybe learn a bit more about it in the next episode. This has been a really cool episode. Getting to explore Yoshie's room, going down this hallway or this staircase and exploring, finding out about the family lineage, finding about Ayumi's power, the flashbacks with her and her sister. Absolutely enjoying this. We finally discovered what the Book of Shadows is, where it is, what it is, and now it's in Ayumi's hands. And as a gifted person with the Book of Shadows, this could mean some pretty big things for Ayumi going forward. So I'm really excited to find out more about it, and I hope you guys are too. But until the next episode, this has been Night Zero, and this mission is complete.